I have issue with something that they've been using to advertise foods in various locations and places.
Okay.
And maybe I'm overthinking it, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. They always say like handcrafted. Okay, compared to what?
Yeah, like
what are they going to craft it with otherwise?
So I think maybe
is it tongs?
Like, are you talking about maybe like, fast food burger place that's like
right? This is handcrafted. What was doing the job before? That's what I want to know.
Do you think maybe it's like kind of, how another one is like fresh, never frozen or whatever? Like maybe it means that like
that's one very specific chain that we won't name.
Right. Until they pay us. But I don't know.
I have a funny story about that. Actually, you just opened up a can of worms.
Let's go. What you got?
Kevin James, the King of Queens, did a show in Roanoke recently, and I don't want to give away the material, but he was able to relate a lot of it back to what I heard. I heard he related a lot of it back to Wendy's specifically.
Interesting.
Not fast food, not just getting fast food. Wendy's was the specific conundrum. It led that person to think that maybe Wendy's was doing some guerrilla marketing there.
Honestly, when you told me that, that was my gears started turning. I was like, why haven't companies like started doing kind of like guerrilla marketing is the perfect term for it with comedians? Like, hey, we'll toss you some money. We know this is going to go circulate on Netflix or whatever. Like, mention our chain 4 different times.
They notoriously wouldn't sell out, and they're very difficult to work with because they didn't want to be like kind of seen as like playing ball like that. But it's 2025. Half of these kind of
comedians are kind of like pop stars now.
Well, and some of these younger comedians aren't even very funny, if that makes sense. Like, they do a lot of long stories that have inspirational parts, and then you laugh from kind of discomfort, but there's not jokes in there. Like a lot of these newer comedians, there's like a wave of, I would say, Gen Z comedians,
like mostly like TikTok comedians and stuff.
Yeah, the ones that just they're on Netflix.
Okay, well, my favorite's still Nate Bargatze at the moment. Can't top him for me.
He would not be in that wave.
No, that's not what I mean. Yeah, but
right, I know. I'm just saying that for a great example of a comedian who is hitting on all cylinders, doing clean comedy, Nate Bargatze is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Just came to Roanoke. I couldn't go ahead a gig.
Yeah, he's been around here in Charlotte a few times, but it's always sold out.
Speaking about being around Charlotte, we're going to talk about the NBA Finals a little bit more, even though
couldn't be further from Charlotte.
The NBA, the NBA's been around Charlotte before.
That's true. The NBA is here, just not the
finals.
Not even a stench of the finals. Yeah. Sorry.
Not even checking the schedule. They're not even concerned about it.
I actually was thinking about that, though. I was watching game 2 with a friend, and we were just talking, and I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if the Hornets didn't stink and they were in the finals and there was the NBA Finals happening, like, right there? Because I live pretty close. Yeah, I know. I live pretty close, like, walking distance. Like, can honestly, like, if I go to the roof, see the arena, like, pretty close. So it'd be nuts if I was like, hey, look, the finals right over there. Maybe
a few minutes later.
What am I rambling?
No, I mean, like, you walk out the door to go to the finals.
A few minutes later.
Oh, yes.
Okay. There you are.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm defensive.
Or you go the wrong way and it's just like, where am
I? If I was trying to leave my apartment to go to the stadium and went the wrong way, something's very wrong. Like, it's couldn't be more obvious which way to walk.
You're blindfolded. Well, I guess we'll talk about sports. We've also got some F1 to discuss.
Yeah. Race this weekend.
Welcome to Wit and Grit, where Ian and Sean break down sports betting, pop culture, or whatever's on their minds. The Wit and Grit Podcast.
here on the podcast are based on our own research, gut instincts, and sometimes just plain fandom. We're sharing what we're betting on, not telling you what you should bet on. Please gamble responsibly. And remember, nothing here guarantees a win. We are not financial advisors or legal experts. This show is for entertainment purposes only. You're muted.
Probably for the better.
You probably talked over it. You probably didn't want to get that legal disclaimer out.
Yeah, I'm trying to sabotage the podcast from now on.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Game 3, Pacers, Thunder to win the series. I think it was at plus
Fire.
265 plus 275, almost 3-1.
Yep. That is going to be the loudest place on the planet tonight. We're recording like 90 minutes before tip-off.
That's available on your favorite book.
Okay. One that Donkey Kong might like. Donkey Kong.
Oh, man, say it slower. I don't think anybody picked up on it yet.
Donkey as in like D, and then Kong like K.
Gutbuster.
Just that's a tail. That's not a
I like that.
pick. I tailed it from somebody else. I put half a unit on
Dude,
it because I think it seems pretty likely if the Pacers win this game, they probably still don't win the series.
If you
wanted to offset it with Thunder Game 3, Thunder series, that's minus 150 right there. That's not terrible.
I mean, you know how
lay a lot more if you want both angles. If you want to like be covered no matter what, you can do that right now.
That makes sense. I think that's good insight. You always have the good strategies to cover yourself. But man, Pacers, like I said last time we aired, like don't look past them, man. Like I know game 2 wasn't pretty. They kept it close.
It was what we thought it would be.
Exactly. But game 1 sure as heck wasn't what we thought it would be. I mean, they're here. They're here to play basketball. They're here. They're not rolling over. Like I said,
did you see the Tyrese Halliburton thing?
Well, at least we got here with SVP.
No, Halliburton with his leg all of a sudden.
Oh yes, yeah,
a little soreness.
Yeah.
I think that the Pacers stole the game they needed to steal.
Yes.
Put on your tinfoil hat with me for a second. They stole the game they needed to steal, and it just so happened to be on the day that Tyrese Halliburton released his shoe.
That was crazy.
He got to send out the tweet that said "must be the shoes."
Yeah.
So the Pacers get to show up, get some legitimacy, win the first game. Pull the
in
chain
OKC. In OKC.
But now the Thunder, if they don't win this game, the Thunder might just roll them the rest of the way. It could be a gentleman's sweep.
It's kind of a must-win for the Pacers. Yeah.
But
honestly, it's kind of a must-win for both teams. Like, if you let the Pacers get up 2-1 and we have game 4 also in Indiana, and then suddenly they're up 3-1, like, yo, that's big. And like I was saying, man, like they're for real. They think they can win this, and I don't disagree. This is a series now. Like I still probably would lean OKC if you made me put money on it. But like it's not easy in my opinion.
Yeah, and the lines have not moved in a way that really relents on OKC.
I mean, Siakam
really
has
in on it.
Siakam is fantastic. Like, he's.
I'm looking at his PRA for tonight. I'm not going to have a parlay to give out on the podcast, but if you follow me on Pickett Action Network, you should see it there.
Honestly, in game 2, if Halliburton, I mean, he was so quiet for 3.5 quarters. If he gives a quarter and a half more of that effort, they really compete in game 2 even. They were trying late to claw their way back into it. It was a 20-point gap, and then it was a 13-point, and then 18, and then 14. I mean, which is a big gap, but they're that team. And Halliburton was starting to heat up at the end. I'm not sure if basketball was a 5-quarter game, could have been different.
Well, so I heard the argument that you really see the adjustments the underdog is going to make in the latter half of game 2. So even though it was garbage time and the Thunder were ahead, you saw something from the Pacers that could inspire you if that was a side.
Yes. And I think also something you saw is that Halliburton needs – I hope that the team realizes that they need to encourage him to be aggressive early on. Like, play with that mentality like you're down 20 with 5 minutes to go from tip-off. Like, take those shots, take command of the floor, demand the ball, like, be that dude, because that dude is really good. That dude could steal the league.
The table for it.
I'm saying, man, that dude could steal the NBA. Like, LeBron and Curry are on the way out. They've still got a couple good years, I'm sure, but the league needs a face, and it could be
Are they
Halliburton,
still in it?
sure.
Are they still in the league? That's crazy.
Right.
I didn't know that.
I'm impressed with the Pacers. I'm impressed with Halliburton. I'm excited for the rest of the finals.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm pretty much just laying back doing player props and things like that, riding my Thunders over Pacers futures, and that's why I've been looking for unique opportunities that before the tide turns, that if I need to hedge and dip a little bit of that profit into the Pacers, because it goes a long way. But I also don't want to be a coward.
You see what I was saying a little bit about the Florida Panthers now too, right?
We could still put that in, and it's still like minus 150 if you didn't put that in. But we had a reel about that. Florida Panthers, Thunder to win. Don't ever think it parlay.
Yeah, I know they did drop one of the games to Edmonton, and I think it might have been on the podcast. If not, it was like we were talking on the phone or something.
It was game one. They lost game one, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I told you, I was like, it's. I'm not at all worried. Like, it's kind of what they do. They'll get beat, and then they'll go and win like 7-1. And what did they do last night? Like, I mean, it's just kind of their thing. Yeah. So I'm still very confident in them winning the cup, and I'm gonna knock on wood because I don't want to be the one people blame if I jinx them.
I'm already blaming you.
No, they've got this.
This is the blame train.
They've got this. Connor McDavid is very, very good, but the Panthers are just a more complete team. Still, same story as last year.
Same. It's all the same, right?
Yep. It's a rerun. It's a rerun, but it's like everything got better. I know I mentioned this last week too. Like, yeah, it's the same situation, just everyone upgraded.
I'm downloading the images to put up, so.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Feel free to put a bow on hockey, and then we're going to go into F1 for a second.
Sounds good. Yeah. I still like the Panthers. They're up now 2-1 in the series, and I think, is that right? Yeah. Or is it 1-1? Did they even it up? Either way, I like them to win. I still like them in 6, which was my.
It's like, why are you asking?
Guess
what are you
all
asking
along.
Us for?
Yeah. I still like them to win in 6. I like the Thunder.
Yeah, the Panthers. Like I told you, Panthers are up 2-1. I did have it backwards. Oilers won game 1. Panthers won game 2 and game 3. They won game 3 by 5 goals, 6-1. They won game 2 by a goal, and they lost game 1 by a goal. So they've had one dominant win.
Yeah. And so I still like them to take it in 6, meaning, they're going to win 2 of the next 3. Yes. At least. So that's what I like.
So you'd bet Panthers in 6? You're adding that to it?
I like them in 6. If we're talking just the parlay, then I still think Thunder Panthers is a fun little ticket there. I'd be curious to see what Pacers Panthers.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying is it's only minus 150. So
that's what I'd be curious to see what Pacers Panthers pays out. A little bit.
I mean, Pacers pays out well on its own. The Panthers would just add a little bit.
Yeah. All right. What you got here?
The F1 schedule came out, and what everybody's talking about is this weekend's race next season.
Okay. Which is Spain?
No, Spain already happened. The Canadian Grand Prix is this Sunday.
Okay.
That you weren't supposed to guess, first of all.
I was looking at this schedule that you literally put on the screen and finding what
this is next year's schedule, but this is next year's schedule.
Okay, well, I'm talking about not clear.
The Canadian Grand Prix
this weekend.
The Canadian Grand Prix has not happened for 2025, but the 2026 Canadian Grand Prix is the story.
Okay,
it's going to be happening at 2:00 Eastern.
Okay.
The same day as the Indianapolis 500 that starts at 12:45 and lasts longer than F1. So they're going to start their F1 race while the Indianapolis 500 is already underway.
That's interesting.
Some are calling it straight disrespectful to the
It's a flex is what it is. It's a flex. They're going to watch viewership shift to the F1. They're going to watch viewership shift away from the Indy 500 over to a early season F1 race. That's going to happen.
you run the risk of it backfiring.
I don't think so. I don't think with the growth F1 is going through right now. When's the last time you heard anyone talk about IndyCar? And I'm not
the
trying
Indianapolis 500, just when Monaco happened, it was Monaco, Indianapolis 500, and then the Coke race for NASCAR. I getting talked about.
I sound hella disrespectful, and I don't mean, because I've actually been to an IndyCar race. When I was like a kid, my dad took me to an IndyCar race, and it was really cool. Sam Hornets Jr. was my favorite driver. So like, that's not what I mean. I'm just saying, as a sports observer, F1 is way bigger.
It's growing.
Yeah.
Cadillac hopes to get their team off the ground with a number of drivers who have experience next year. But yeah, it's just interesting. I mean, when F1 officials were asked about it, they kind of just said, we don't care. We just, we didn't do it on purpose. We didn't think about it.
Exactly. That's what.
But it's not just an F1 race happening during an Indy race. That probably happens a lot. It's on the same continent.
It's like their Super Bowl.
It's Canada and Indianapolis. So
and it's like
the
Indy Super Bowl. Yeah. I get it.
The big one.
I get it. It is F1 saying, watch this. Like, watch what we can do. That's what it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go over to your favorite subject, football.
All right,
I've got a player you don't care for, a player I don't know your opinion of, and a topic that is football related, but also drug use in the league related.
Okay, am I like spinning the wheel?
Yeah, pick your poison.
All right, drug use in the league.
You want to go with that first?
It's the most recent. It's the one I remembered. Okay, player I don't like.
Too late. You already went with this one.
I thought I was going to say, I've never really talked about Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce says that between 50 and 80% of NFL players use cannabis. If you just stop in the middle of July, you're fine. Guys stop a week before and they still pass because everybody's working out in the heat via new heights.
Not cannabis.
And that's not a surprise to anybody. Percy Harvin said he never went out for a game without being high.
I can't believe they smoke cannabis. Oh my God. Does he think he's breaking news?
No, I don't think. I think that this website, Sportskeeda Pro Football, which shout out to them because they're the ones that I was grabbing this from. So,
fair.
I'm giving them props, but they were just trying to get some clickbait if somebody hadn't already seen this story.
I guess
the 80,000 other times that it's been brought up.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, we were kind of inferring and saying, like, it's pretty obvious. Like,
it would be insane for players not to use cannabis because they are going through intense pain on their joints and everything.
Right. Yeah. Make it clear. We're not saying like
what that shows.
We're not saying that we see them, sitting on their couch, ripping bongs, playing Call of Duty all night, like, eating Doritos. Like, no, cannabis use doesn't have to mean that. Like, and that's not what Travis Kelce's saying either. Like it's exactly what Ian just was like getting to, like, to help ease muscles and like work through some of this pain and stuff. Like there's all sorts of things. So yeah, it's no surprise at all. It's probably more than that, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got?
So speaking of getting old, joint pain, drug use, we've got Aaron Rodgers. This picture is wild to look back on. It's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was going to talk to Aaron Rodgers, but Mike Tomlin got to him first and was taking a long time kind of having a private ear-to-ear conversation. Basically, the vibe of this photo for our podcast listening audience is very much
well, I mean, you're leaving out the
replacing this dude soon. I'm replacing this dude soon. Come over.
Well, and Justin Fields in the background watching this happen also.
Oh, I didn't even see Justin Fields. Yes, you're right.
That's also huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally, and he is staring at them. I mean, he's watching them hug and talk.
Yeah, that's a weird vibe.
So, I mean, how does that make him feel? Like, okay, I'm not even the starting quarterback, and now my coach is talking to Aaron Rodgers in a way that makes me think he's probably going to take my job. I am so excited for Week 1 Steelers Jets. Have I mentioned that yet, Ian?
I don't think so.
Well, let me tell you, I can't.
Are you
wait.
excited?
Yes, I want Aaron Rodgers to throw 7 touchdowns. I want to eat my words on Aaron Rodgers after Week 1. I want to wave the MVP flag because he just made a mockery of Justin Fields and the Jets. That's what I want.
Aaron Rodgers can become one of 5 quarterbacks to beat all 32 teams with a win over the Packers in Week 8. Do you think he'll do it?
Yes. Yeah.
That's it? Just yeah?
Well, you took it away just as I was reading it.
How about now?
Yeah, that's actually going to be a good game. Steelers-Packers. Yeah.
That's what we say every time it's on the schedule. That's actually going to be a good game. Steelers-Packers.
That is like the tagline. That is the tagline of that matchup. Yeah, like no matter who's playing, no matter how good either team is, like
this should be all right.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually,
I think he'll get it.
I kind of think Green Bay and Jordan Love get up for that and don't let it happen.
We'll see.
Where is it?
I don't know. Look it up. What do I have to do everything?
Dude, you're the host.
I didn't know you were going to take the question that seriously. I think he'll do it. One of my betting edges is betting on the good storylines for the NFL. Like Tom Brady over Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I backed that so hard because I was like, they want Tom Brady to win this game.
It's Sunday Night Football and it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think, you know what's weird? I think I would choose the road team either way in this scenario. I think the fact that it's in Pittsburgh, I know. Let me listen. I think because it's in Pittsburgh, Green Bay really, really gets up for it and says, we're going to go to his new house and we're going to show him that we're much better off without him. Whereas kind of the opposite's true. If the game were in Green Bay, I think Aaron Rodgers is like, all right, this is my last ultimate middle finger to them, to the league, to everybody that thinks I'm washed. Look at this. And then he just goes off in his old home. I know it sounds weird, but I kind of like the energy that the road team brings to this matchup either way. So I think I go Green Bay.
Wait, what?
I'm already on the Steelers for that, but we'll see. I don't have to place any bets on it for quite some time. When the Chargers took the player that everyone thought the Broncos were going to take in the draft, do you remember the young man's name?
Vidal. That was last year, wasn't it? That running back.
What?
The running back, Vidal. Is that who you're talking about, or so you're talking this year? I'm sure. No, I don't know.
Oh, Marion Hampton.
Okay, cool.
The running back. Were you?
Well, they took a running back last year too. Yeah, last year they took Vidal.
Who?
Vidall. Vidal.
Vidal in the first round.
Oh, I don't know. I was only.
I was like, they didn't take a running back in the first round last year. They took.
Okay, well, what's your point?
Joe Alt, offensive lineman. Yeah, you didn't listen to anything I said. Is my point? I guess I have a new.
Yeah, point. I do not. I'm not well versed on San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers draft picks.
You know they moved. You at least know they moved. What? Breaking news! They're in LA now. The Chargers took Omarion Hampton. He's their running back.
Oh, now who doesn't know something?
And you know who they didn't need?
Who?
The Broncos' new running back. J.K. Dobbins. Comeback player of the year finalist. Signed with the Broncos on a one-year deal. $5.25 million. He's only 26. Okay. He's just been derailed in several seasons. So what does this mean for the Broncos in the sense of they take RJ Harvey as the running back in like the second round? Later, they skip on it after Hampton's gone, right? But what does it mean? Is there a clear running back here, or is this a committee that we're going to have to wait and see how it shakes out in the preseason?
I think a lot of people, and us included as fantasy players, get all hung up on who's the leader of this backfield. And I think the NFL is like, for a few years, actually kind of evolved past that to where like you can't even, I mean, you can call it a committee if you want, sure. But like teams now just are going to rotate 2, 3, 4 running backs every game. Like it's just what they're going to do. And yeah, maybe you do have Saquon Barkley. Maybe you do have Derrick Henry. And okay, yes, that's a very clear, like this is our guy. But I think like because fantasy is so big and people are trying to get that RB1 on their roster, they're too hung up on trying to figure out like who that guy is. And this is just another excellent running back in Denver's backfield that they can rotate in whenever the situation calls for it, whenever somebody's ankle is acting up one game, whenever, you know, hey, this guy runs better through the tackles rather than through the guards, like, situation, you plug and play sort of thing. Like So that's kind of what I think is that they're adding depth at a position where depth is really required now, and it needs to be depth in a way that is not, there's no significant drop off. Like RB4 shouldn't be that much worse than RB2 is what I mean, because they're good. They're all going to play. They're all going to need to play multiple downs. So it's a smart move. That's a very long answer to say I think it's a smart move.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but my question was for fantasy. So,
well,
I wanted to know, who would you take a shot on in this backfield?
That is hilarious. Oh
yeah,
God.
And you just went on a long tangent about like, who cares?
How
well,
it doesn't
me. I just think that I think Harvey is going to be good for first and second down. Obviously, not every one of them, but Jaleel McLaughlin's the veteran who's undersized. Audrey Estime is going to get some time. That's what Sean Payton literally said this week in a press conference. He said Estime is going to get time. He's like, and he said, that's why I wanted to ask you the question, and you kind of gave the right answer with what Sean Payton said, because he said, I see you guys trying to count out there. Stop trying to count. You're not going to get it right. Yeah. We don't know quite yet. You're not going to know the rotation. Don't try to guess it.
Right.
But I think if the rookie, whoever has fresh legs, you're right, whoever has the best legs is going to get a shot. And I think what they're doing is, after Javonte Williams left and went to the Dallas Cowboys in the offseason, you have to make sure that he wasn't even great last year, and he was their leading rusher. They have not had a really good running back since Javonte Williams was in his rookie year.
Yeah.
So,
and it's going to be necessary.
Melvin Gordon had flashes, but in a year to be forgotten.
But Bo Nix, the success of Bo Nix this year relies on a healthy run game, in my opinion, because you had a little bit of the shock factor last year of like, oh, new kid on the block. We don't really know what to expect from him. And he was able to just kind of do his thing, and it worked because he's good and his thing works. Mm-hmm. But now defenses know him a little bit better. They don't have to, they lost Javonte Williams. The perception is that Denver's run game got worse. So defenses are going to tune in more to Bo Nix. They're going to say, all right, well, where's the weakness on this Denver offense? It's the young quarterback. Let's attack it. And they're mistaken. But I think if you give them more running backs to pay attention to, give them a good run game to pay attention to, suddenly someone's not looking at Bo Nix and he does his thing and 7 points are on the board.
Well, and also they're drafting more and more wide receivers. You had Marvin Mims really catching on at the end of last year as a gadget player. You've got Pat Bryant, who just got drafted. We don't know how quickly he'll have an impact. Some rookies just step in and do it. But you also have Devon Vele from last year, who a lot of people were joking, even though he's older. He's like 26 as a rookie. Some people are arguing, why would this guy get a lot of playing time? It doesn't matter how old he was as a rookie. He's 27 now. Play him.
Honestly,
and he's got physical dimensions like Marcus Colston.
Yeah.
Marquise Colston.
Marquise. Got it. Age is becoming like, yes, you're not going to see many 45-year-old quarterbacks. Tom Brady's kind of a unicorn in that way. But in football, I think in sports, age is becoming, I think athletes are evolving. Sports medicine's getting better. Training's getting better. Like, suddenly 33, 34 isn't like ancient in sports anymore. You can kind of be in the middle-ish, starting the end of your career around then. So, yeah, I hear you.
And I mean, when Sean Payton has a bell cow running back, he loves to feed him, Alvin Kamara, for instance. But when he doesn't, he's never shied away from a committee. And so having a lot of like, Audrey Estime's got a little bit of a bigger body. Jaleel's got a little bit more of a thin frame. He can get outside. Harvey's got your freshest legs. He's the young guy you took in the second round when everyone said that was your biggest need. And then you bring in J.K. Dobbins, who's had a couple of bad rolls of the die, but he's getting back up, and he's always really good when he gets a chance. For instance, he gutted the Broncos last year for, I believe, over 90 yards.
Right.
With the Chargers.
Like you were saying with Sean Payton, like that, look back to New Orleans. I mean, I hope I'm going to get my history right, but if I am, he had running backs there like, Mark Ingram, Darren Sproles, Reggie Bush, that were part of committees. They're huge names and great talents, but like they were part of committees too. It wasn't just them doing the thing. And because he had those players there, Drew Brees is one of the best quarterbacks of all time because you had this effective running back, group led by someone like, a Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I think that's about all we need to talk about with the Broncos, but I think we covered it. I do disagree a little bit about the running game idea. I think Bo Nix is going to be able to build on what they did with the passing game, whether the running game is good or not.
Yeah.
I do. Will it be harder? Yes, but I do not. Evan Ingram at tight end is not really blocking in practice. They only have him running routes. They have Ingram to unleash. He had a great rookie year. Like if Jaden Daniels didn't go to the NFC Championship, everybody's talking about a kind of rookie year, right?
Yeah.
He didn't even have a good tight end. The Broncos haven't had a good tight end since Peyton Manning was still throwing passes. A good pass-catching tight end.
Yeah, I was literally about to make that point. Tight end has kind of evolved into two positions now. Like it's hard to refer to them as one group because you have your blockers and you have your pass catchers. But yes, you have people that can do both, like George Kittle. But like it's typically one or the other that you excel at and that you game plan around if you have him or if you're going against him. So yeah.
I don't know. Are we going to get Madden? Just go ahead and tell me now. Are we going to get Madden?
I'm skipping it again, man. I'm getting college ball again. The college football game has me. I'm here for my Charlotte 49ers. I'm gonna bring them to glory.
I think I will be getting on Madden now that there's a respectable quarterback for my team, and I don't have to lose to the Chiefs over and over because I wasn't paying for a nightmare. I can have those for free. Yeah.
It looks. I would love, and I know you're not as big into the gaming world as I am, but EA Sports, the company that does those, has exclusive rights to the NFL games, and so no one else can even try to make an NFL game, and so there's no competition in the market, and so Madden has been stale for years. The last time in 2015, when another studio had the opportunity to make one, 2005, not 2015. When another studio had the opportunity, it's still regarded as the best football video game of all time.
Are you talking about backyard football or the Blitz?
No. ESPN 2K5. ESPN made a football game. Terrell Owens is on the cover. It's phenomenal. And I really wish the NFL would give any other studio a chance to at least give EA some competition because I think it would do really well for the game. That's my piece there.
Write that down. Write that down, NFL. What do you think is more likely to happen, a European league or an NFL version of the Four tournament we saw from hockey this year?
International league, although I like your idea.
Both are possible, but yeah, the only problem would be that the physicality of football, getting any games added, is literally a negotiation of unions. So,
well, we're at what, 17 games now? Yeah.
18.
I'm sure we're 18 weeks.
18 weeks, 17 games, yeah. I think if they add another week, they're going to definitely have to give them another bye.
And take away a preseason. It doesn't make as much money. It doesn't make as much money in the stadiums. It doesn't make as much money on TV. Yeah, but they've already cut it to 3. They already cut it to 3. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter.
The players will fight that because the majority of the players in the union that vote on the contract had to work their way onto a roster in preseason games. A majority of them weren't drafted. Look at the numbers, right?
They'll do more scrimmage, like non-televised scrimmages. Like the Jaguars will go play the Buccaneers because it's close and it won't be on TV.
No, it won't be close because they'll be the first team in the new European League. They'll be in London.
Fair.
It'll be far away. Why do we have 3 teams in Florida
that aren't in the same division? None of them.
Yeah.
That make so much sense?
Benefits like in Britain. Let's see that if Florida gets to use their tax percentages, what about you get health care if you play for the London Jaguars, I mean, where would you put a team?
With them in taxes like a few hundred years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of more intermingling of those taxes nowadays. I mean, you would put a team in London. You would put a team probably in France or somewhere, maybe France, but they haven't really gone to France yet.
South America for sure. Somewhere.
No, I said European League.
Oh, I thought you said international. Okay, all right.
I mean, it would have to work geographically. I don't think you could just go into South America in the next 10 years. I think it'd be 10, 15 years max.
I think
they
Brazil
played the first game in Brazil last year. They just started there. They've been in
But I
London
think
since we were like 12 years younger.
Are you saying it's an infrastructure issue?
I'm saying there's a fandom issue. I mean, you got enough NFL fans to get really hype at the beginning of the season and show up for one game.
Okay.
Are you gonna, you've been building a fan base by going to multiple German cities, multiple multiple UK cities.
Yeah.
I think wasn't there going to be there's a game coming up that's going to be in Scotland or Wales this year?
I'm not sure, honestly.
So honestly, if you had enough support in the UK, you could open up just a UK league. You could do a Welsh team, a Scottish team, but the problem is with the wealth disparity. There's more football clubs in Europe because a lot of them, not all of them have the same money. There's different league tiers. There's a lot of accessibility there. The NFL is like you're in or you're out.
Right. Yeah, it's big boy money no matter what.
Yeah, and they'd have to, logistically with the schedule, you'd have to have it to where any team that traveled to Europe for a game would either have to get to do 2 back-to-back or they would have to get like a bye week afterwards. Like you would always the Europe game would be your last game before vacation.
Things like that sound complicated when like me and you talk about them out loud, but you put that into a computer, that's instant. That's no problem.
Are you trying to say that we didn't solve it?
Yeah.
But that's what I love watching.
Every time I'm listening.
So I made an F1 bet that I really can't give out because it's kind of already gone. But earlier in the week, as I've been saying on this podcast, Isaac Hadjar for the Racing Bulls, I got him at plus 100 to finish in the points.
Okay.
I think it's at minus 100, minus 110. Yeah, just top 10, which he's been doing a lot.
Okay.
If you want to get that number in a parlay on Saturday after quali, you're going to have to tie him with someone at the least.
Right. Are you doing any backing on Saturday after quali?
Probably. I'm probably going to do a post Saturday night with my picks for the Sunday morning race. I'll try to get it up as quick as I can on Saturday after qualifying.
Race is at 9 a.m. Eastern?
It is actually at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Eastern. Cool.
Because it's in North America.
Gotcha. Cool.
I told you wrong the other day when we talked about it. But it's at 2 o'clock. Sucte Gilles Villeneuve.
I'm definitely going to catch that one. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been 2 weeks.
Yep.
Obviously, McLaren's taken off going forward.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a little behind the scenes for everybody. I'm fast at work on an F1 show in my area. Hopefully, to
like a radio show, right?
Yeah, radio show. So
that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's really cool that it's growing enough in America to do that kind of thing. So
exactly.
When I get
and
more
that you
details,
can kind of be the voice for it in that region. I mean, because to my knowledge, there really isn't one.
Yeah, don't jinx it. NASCAR is huge over here.
Right.
So are you going to take any action on the Pacers before we call this an episode? I
like them to win tonight. So I do a unit on a money line if there's some juice there. If it's not, the
money line's less than 200. I think I saw plus 184 earlier.
On Pacers tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like a unit on that. I think they're going to win tonight at home.
You should take them. Instead, you should do the 2 combos on the book we talked about for game 3, Pacers win. And you could bet each way Thunder win series, Pacers win series.
True. Yeah.
You make more money if they win tonight, then both those bets are live going forward. And if they lose, you were going to lose anyway. So that's how you maximize your money right there.
Kind of do want to see what a Pacers series win could do.
Think about like this. Here, I'll pull it up right now because I bet I've got it pulled up. But if it's plus 265 for Pacers win Thunder series, what would it be for Pacers win Pacers series?
Right.
The answer is plus 600. So you could split your money on plus 265 and plus 600, and as long as they win the game tonight, you'd be fine. Now, if the Thunder win the game tonight, you'd be out, and that's minus 150.
Yeah. Man, there's just something in the back of my mind that's telling me this thing's going to 7 at least. And the way that the Pacers and the way that Tyrese Halliburton has been doing his thing, like, I don't know, man. I'm scared if I'm the Thunder and if I'm a Thunder fan.
It's heavily juiced to the over 5.5, if that helps you. So you're correct on leaning 7 games. It's plus 175 to end sooner. It's almost worth it for me to maybe take the under because I was telling you what I think. I think that there's a little bit of conspiracy theory in my thinking that the Pacers needed to win game 1 for the money, for Tyrese to get his money. Now he lays down and lets his team with this high net rating, with this great bench, just steamroll over him. And we finish this thing in 5.
Nah.
Think about it. Everybody, now that everybody is saying over, what could it be that would help Vegas out a lot here? What would help them out a lot if this all of a sudden went away? No one saw it coming.
Right. No, that makes sense. I'm
not going to bet it. I'm just entertaining it. Plus 175 to end in less than 6 games, like under 5.5. That's almost 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
Well, any official bets we make, you can track us on the apps. Sean, well, he doesn't really post his bets, but if I tail him on one of the bets, I'll tag him on there.
I need to get it all linked up.
Really share it.
I'm getting to it.
Football. All right. Hope everybody's bets cash. I think we plan to try to do coverage on Sunday after the race.
Yeah, we will do our best.
So we're going to try to get here as soon as we can after the race. We're going to be watching it live. It's on our continent.
That's the thing. I'm going to be like probably out with friends watching it. So it might not be like immediately. I'm not going to be like race is over, got to go by. But yeah, we'll come out here. Yeah.
Well, we'll make sure that they've at least figured out the 10-second penalty by the time we come on. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, fair enough.
Come on, Max. Don't get banned. Don't get banned, Max.
Have a good week, y'all.